Hey guys, welcome back from Classic Work. I got a fan of the show a little while back, asked me if I'd do a tool review, and I told him sure. And here we are today. He's done sent them to me all the way from Maryland, which I live in Mississippi, so that's a pretty good trip for him. And this is a company I've never heard of. It's called Newborn Brothers Incorporated, and apparently they make some super skookum caulk guns for all my Canadian friends out there. And it's a tool that I've used pretty much all my life. I've used dozens of different kinds of brands, and I always wondered why they didn't make better caulk guns. Well, it turns out they do, so we're going to take a look at it and see how good these are. Alright, let's open her up. Dang. Not sure what's in here, maybe a letter. I'll take a look at that in a minute. Oh, heck yeah. Got a new hat. Love hats now. And a shirt. Dead gum. One all the way out. That's nice as heck. Alright, and according to the letter, he sent me 3 of them. Oh, I'm not sure what this is. Featuring caulk guns. There's the Newborn. Let's open that up and look at it. There are 3 different types, and I'll post everything in the description about what each brand is. Let me just take a look through here and see what we got. Okay, this here is the Newborn model 212 HTD. It's got a nice feel to it. I like that. Most of it has got some kind of a plastic engraving in the handle, but all this right here is either steel or aluminum. That's pretty cool. Put it right there. Okay. Got another one here. This is a model 930 GTD Newborn. Now I've got one that's similar to this, and I'm curious if it's the same brand or not. And then the final one we've got in here this one here doesn't have a hole in it. I'll get it eventually. There we go. Alright. This one here is a model 250, and I can tell you already right now I'm liking this one. This is definitely different. It's got a nice action on it. That's all looks like steel components in there. We'll take a little bit closer look at them, but this is looking like a nice collection. Huh. There you go. There's all 3 of them, and we'll look into them and see how they perform. Alright, the first caulk gun we've got on the examination table is the 212 HTD, and I would have to say right off the bat that this here is probably the lightest caulk gun that I've ever used, and I think a big portion of that is thanks to the plastic handle and grip on there. Now I know what you're thinking. A lot of people think this out there, that plastic, oh, that's no good, you don't want plastic. But we've come a long way with plastic technology. It's a lot stronger and a lot better than it used to be, and I've got nothing wrong with plastic. And it's got some kind of silicone grips on there for better ergonomics. But they claim that the body and everything is made out of steel. Let's see if they're right. Yep, it's definitely got iron in it. So, the ram and everything, the mechanism is all steel. And this one right here does have the cutter on it to cut the caulk tube, and it does have the punji stick to break your seal. So those are all good things. See how easy it is to get a caulk tube in it. Damn, these mosquitoes are eating me alive today. It's kind of tricky to get a tube in there, but not bad. Now, one downside I do see is it's got a lot of front heaviness to it. That's because the plastic's so light, so it ain't got good balance on it. Which you wouldn't think that'd be that important, but if you're caulking all day, you can feel it. But not bad. Pull this up. Now, I did count the reps that it takes to get the plunger from the back all the way to the front, and according to what I found, it's 23 plus or minus 1. So, not bad caulk gun. And this model also, they claim it's drip free, but we'll test that here in just a second. Take a look at the next one, which is the model 250. Now this one right here is definitely heavy. It put the H in heavy duty. I think as much as this one weighs, it probably weighs the most out of any caulk gun I've ever used. And I'm guessing these handles, yeah, they're not steel. Let's see. According to the flyer over here, it's a zinc alloy, so it's aluminum alloy mixed with zinc, or vice versa. But I believe the body's steel. Yep, the body is steel, the mechanism's steel. And it's got a tab on here you have to hold to pull the plunger out. Oh, and look at that. It's got grease on it, or oil. They meant for that joker to last. That's pretty cool. But anyways, it's got a cutter on it to cut your tube once again. And the punji stick is over here. It's got nice action on it. See how easy it is to... Whoa, did you see that? The joker can spin. I don't know if I like that too much. It's not a bad thing, I don't guess. Anyways, see how easy it is to put a caulk tube in. Must not be holding my mouth right. There we go, that just fell right in. Apparently I didn't have it all the way up or something. See what the balance is. Oh yeah, balance, definitely more well balanced. So, heck yeah, I'm liking this one. Easy removal. Heck yeah. But yeah, you can see down in here, it's all got all metal retention down in there. And the ratio on this one, they actually put it in there, it's an 18:1 thrust ratio for the plunger. And I counted the reps on it, and it takes 37 pumps plus or minus 1 to get to the end, so that's pretty nice. Heck yeah, I like that one a lot. Now the last one is the 930 GTD. And funny thing about this one is I've had the same model and didn't know it for about 4 or 5 years. You can definitely tell that's the same one. This one here just got a little more use on it. Now, this right here, it's got all steel components, I do believe. This is steel. Yep, that's definitely steel. And so it's a little heavier than the 212, but I've used this one for years, and I can tell you that it is a good caulk gun. It's been my favorite that I've used out of dozens I've used. And it's got some nice points about it. Once again, you have the cutter that's on the back where you stick your caulk gun in, and it's got the punji stick on the front on this one, like most of them do. But yeah, it's got real easy assembly, and the weight on it, it's a little front heavy, but it's not terrible. And I do like this caulk gun. I've had some very, very good success with mine over the years. Now, once again, all the caulk guns that I've shown you claim to be all drip free. Now this one I know for a fact that they don't. As you can tell, this one here has been having caulk run out of it for a little while, and I can't remember if it did it when it was new, or if it didn't do it when it was new, or as it got older. But I do know that it is not drip free. But it's been a good caulk gun nonetheless. I put a lot of tubes of caulk through it. But heck yeah, we're going to test all of them and see how they do. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, I'm sorry. I counted the reps On this one, it takes 28 to get from the, hold on, to get from the bottom plunger to the front. So according to the flyer here, it's a 10-to-1 ratio. So it's a little bit faster. It's probably about real close to the 212, but the 212 is a little faster for some reason. But anyways, let's take a look at them in action. Okay, first one that we're going to test is the 212, and we're going to see how well it lays a bead, plus just to see if it's non-drip or not. So we're just going to start over here. Alright. I'll watch the end, see what it does. Looks like she hadn't moved. Tell you what, it's got a hair trigger on it. That's a thick line of caulk. And looks like she's not dripping. So, yeah. That's a win for the 212. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, I'm going to show y'all something real quick. See how that piece of plastic right there is up against this caulk tube? It won't let it come out because of that now. I must have put that in there incorrectly. So the 212 is a little unuser friendly. It's not a bad caulk gun, but it's definitely got some, you know, you got to hold your mouth just right. Talk to her sweet. Just wanted to point that out. Okay, this here's the 250. See how she does. Oh, you talk about a super smooth action. Alright. She's still trying to come out. I'm not holding the trigger. Now granted, this is not a new caulk gun. I mean new caulk tube. I want to try something. Okay, it stopped then. Okay, so if you do not, I don't like it's coming anymore. If you do not hit this relief back here to get the pressure off the arm, it will continue to come out. So that, be aware of that if you do use one of these. I'm just going to shoot some on here and try that real quick. See, it's still coming even though I'm not hitting the trigger. Okay, I'm gonna hit the button. Okay, it stopped. So for sure, you've got to hit the relief on there. Some caulk guns I've seen you had to, and some of them didn't. So that's for sure. But it does leave a nice, good stream. So let's go on to our last one. Okay, this here's the 930. This is the one I've used the most. See how she does. Now, I've used this one a long time, so I know all the characteristics of one. Let's see if she'll quit dripping. So far, so good. Heck yeah. They all meet the no drip standard. Just be sure to hit the button on the 250. But yeah, they all lay a pretty good stream. Now, I know this is probably a misnomer. This is not a brand, I may have said this, but I'm gonna say it again. This is not a brand new caulk tube. So it's been in my truck, it's been hot, you know, it's went through some weather changes, so it may not have been the best performance for it. But if anything, it shows you real world experience, what's actually going on. But yeah, not bad. They all did their job. Okay, I was just going to show my old 930. I'm just going to run out of bead. See if she'll, but you can tell that she's dripping. See it bending over. And now that I think about it, I'm guessing that's probably because all this mechanism in here is probably a little rusty. If I shot a little oil on it, I imagine it probably wouldn't do that. But, and that's something that you have to remember. Even though I know most of us probably think that caulk guns are more or less throwaway tools. All tools need to be maintained. And this one, I've never done anything to it. So 4 years, whoops, don't do that. 4 years of riding around the back of my truck and going to different job sites, and I'm sure it's fell off a roof more than once. So yeah, it's held up pretty good. If y'all are curious what the yellow thing was I pulled out of the box, that's a shirt. I want to iron it, but nice shirt. But well, anyways, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of it. Stay tuned. The rest of this is going to be pretty much a how-to in caulk guns. I filmed this years ago, and I used my same caulk gun for everything, so you may learn a few tips from it. And I want to thank Tyler Hippen, sorry if I screwed up your last name, for sending me these caulk guns to review. I thank you very kindly, sir. And for the rest of y'all out there, go out there and check in the description to go to their website and check out some of their caulk guns. As I said before, they've got some really nice stuff. And out of all the caulk guns that I've reviewed here, I'd have to say the 250 is probably going to be my new favorite, just because I like heavy stuff. But other than that, my old standby, the 930, good caulk gun. I enjoyed it too. And if you're looking for lightweight and utility, the 212 is a good one for that. So anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed it, and stay tuned to learn some more how-tos. Once again, take care, and thank you, Mr. Tyler. I do appreciate it. One of the biggest tips that I can give is when you cut the end of your caulk tube. And this is just latex caulk, nothing special. But most caulk guns have a cutter on the inside of them here, or either that or you could use a razor knife. But be sure that when you put that caulk tube in there that you angle it a little bit so that when you cut it, that it leaves kind of like a point on it. Let's see if I can do it. It's that little bit of a point back right there, and you could go even steeper if you like, make it a steeper angle. This will help you tremendously when you lay beads into a groove. And then once again, you're gonna take your caulk gun, some of them have a little stick on the end of them, go up in there on the inside, poke it. That way you can get the caulk running out good and clean. And then just put it in your caulk tube. Very, very important tip though. Second thing that you want to do is get you a rag, a clean rag, and wet it up fairly wet. You don't want it just sopping, but you want it pretty wet. Okay, now we're going to get down to caulking. Alright, so with your tip on the end of your gun, paint like pointing upward. You get right in the seam of your crack. Lay you a good bead down your edge. Now this here is where the rag comes in now. Wet your finger up real good and wet, come back and smooth it out. And you'll have some caulk on the end of your finger. Use that to plug in like your nail holes so you don't waste so much caulk. And then just smooth everything out. Take your rag, clean your fingers, make sure you keep your fingers clean. And take your rag, wipe off your excess. There you go. Now you got a really super clean joint. If you can't see it up close, then you definitely won't be able to see it from the ground. Alright, I'm going to show y'all how to deal with a butt joint like this one. Come at the end of your plank. What you want to do is go ahead and fill in the crack with a little bit of caulk. Be sure you get the underside too. There you go. Now wet your finger with your rag, very important. Come up here, smooth it on down, get the bottom side. It may look a little ugly, but we'll get there. Take your excess, rub into your nail holes. It may take a little extra. Dab a little bit in. Come back down here. Continue my line. Keep your fingers clean, best you can. Rub your excess in. Alright, take your rag, come back and clean up all the smudges, and try to, if you can, always rub with the grain of the wood. Now come back. I don't know if you can see any of them. There's one right there. These here are kind of known as wagon tracks. It's the caulk that squeezes past your finger. Be sure to take your rag and go back in there and clean up behind them, because if you don't, when you go to paint over them, it won't. You'll hit that and you'll wonder what in the world went wrong. There we go. That looks better. And there you go. A little paint. Fix that right up. Alright, now that we've let our caulk dry overnight, we're ready to start painting. Now then, I'm going to show y'all a few tricks about how to load a paintbrush. Now this here is kind of a minor thing, but sometimes it's not. I know a lot of painters will tell you that you dip your brush in, and then you wipe off your excess on both sides, and it gives you a nice chiseled edge so you can get up in a real tight place with it. My brush is not real wet, so I don't have a chiseled edge on it yet. But this is not very good, because watch this. When you go to paint, you've got a lot of control, but look how far I've gotten and I'm already out of paint. This is the technique that I use, and you can put a lot of paint on the board without having to dip your brush so much. Dip it in like you would normally, and instead of scraping both sides off, take it and just rake that edge over that, and you'll get all the paint off the very end back here and have loads of paint on both sides. So let's compare the two. I'm gonna come over here, see how much further I get. Okay, that's probably double what I got over here, and I wasn't what they call drying the brush any, and I still got a little paint up here, meaning that I wasn't painting with a dry brush. It was always wet. So that's quite a bit of difference. If you don't think that's a difference, try running a span that distance and find out how many times you have to dip into the bucket. Every second that you're not painting, you're wasting time and the paint's drying, and you need to get it on there and make it all look good. So that's just one technique in that.